Right. Hi everyone, Angelina, Sparkling Deva, and another pick a card reading, and this is the love reading that I've been talking about for a few weeks. And I had wanted to do a third set, but for some reason it didn't flow, so I decided to just record the two sets. And usually I've done similar things in the past, just two sets, and it usually always works out. But if you for some reason feel that this somehow there's no resonance or whatever with either set, then maybe it's just not for you. You might just watch it. Maybe there's still messages in there. We are going to look at what has happened to you before, briefly with a number of cards. So it is not just for singles, because that's also applicable when you already are in a relationship, right? Or when you already are seeing someone, to have a brief look at your past, what has happened to you, and the effect that has had on you or is having on you. And in general, the reading is about what is coming to you in love. So that's what we're going to look at. And again, that's also applicable if you already are in a relationship, to see what you can maybe improve in that connection. Last thing I want to say before we get going is that I'm using the for a few things the tarot of sexual magic, not throughout. I will also use another tarot deck, oracle cards, etc. But if the sexual magic tarot is very explicit in the artwork, and if you have a problem with that, then you better just leave it as well, right? If you find that offensive or have a problem with it or whatever, then yeah, I am using these cards. So that's enough information. Let's start the reading. We have for the numbers one of your cards, and this is an Amazonite. Numbers 2, we have a Zebradorite. And I love that energy so much. That one as well, of course. But this one too. Really, it's just a cute little thing. But it's... I can't remember now what the beige is. Whether that's feldspar or moonstone. I can't remember. But the darker bits is smoky quartz in something else. Anyhow, just feel into it which one is for you, and then click the timestamp to go to your reading, and I'll see you there. Right, numbers 1, you're reading the first 4 cards from the Sexual Magic Tarot, and we have the Tower, the Knight of Cups, the Lover's card, and the Knight of Wands. And I feel that these 4 cards are where you come from, what you've experienced, either yourself or what you have witnessed, for instance, in parents, because that also has an influence on us, right? If your parents had a difficult relationship, for instance, then we tend to take that as a role model for love relationships. Or it can also be other people's relationships, and how it affected your views and your beliefs. That's what we're seeing here with these cards. And basically in the first 3, all 3 cards here, the first 3 cards, we see a situation of betrayal, jealousy, pain, rejection, and anger stemming from being hurt. Like... and things not going anywhere, like with your world falling apart with the Tower here, that's the Tower card, and knowing or feeling that the other person isn't honest or betraying you behind your back. And, sorry, this is actually the Page of Cups. This is the Knight, this is the Page, not the Knight. I said the Knight earlier on, it's the Page of Cups. And if you, the reason for that is here, well, this is clear, right? We see 3 people here, but there's also 3 people here, because there is this couple there kissing, and there's 3 people here too, and he is looking at her, And I get the sense, this is the Lover's card, I get the sense that she feels rejected and not seen, and yeah, as if he's actually in a relationship with her or dating her, but kind of losing interest and is more all of a sudden interested in this woman who comes, along and appears to be so sexy and interesting, and oh my God, and he's not really seeing you anymore. So I see that kind of pattern here in all three cards. And it could be that you feel that you are, and maybe it actually happened, right? That you were betrayed, or someone cheated on you, or someone wasn't honest with you. It isn't anything good in any case, whatever it was exactly. And while you were still in this budding stages of feeling love and thinking it was really going somewhere, and full of hope, right? When you're in a new connection and you feel this new love, and that's because this is the page, and a page is a young person. So yeah, and then also it can also be an indication that you yourself never learned properly how to deal with love and love connections and flirting and relationships. You never really learned how to do that. And there can be several can be an awful lot of different reasons for that. Maybe you were very insecure, had low self-esteem, or you had a bad example from around you, from like your parents or other people. Maybe you came to believe that relationships don't last, or whatever. Can be anything, right? And there is non-committal to you, what I just explained with this card, and you are all in, but the other party either isn't sure or not sure anymore, and easily swayed when someone else comes along that piques his or her interest. And all that was especially painful as when you met them, which I feel is this card, the Knight of Cups. I said the Knight of Wands earlier on. I'm so sorry about that. It's the Knight of Cups. When you first met, you thought they were your knight in shining armor, the right person, Mr. Right or Mrs. Right. And it may have even overwhelmed you that someone so great came into your life and showed an interest in you, and then it all went sour. And that's why it hurts even more, right? Because if it then falls apart, which happened, as we have the Tower, and there's all that betrayal, you not feeling secure, and actually not, if we look at this, not really being secure either in this connection, yeah, that hurts like hell. And so that has affected you. And this is something, this an entire scenario that is behind you, that's in the past. And it is very important that if you're wanting to attract new love, or if you're in a relationship, want to improve your love relationship, that you're not in this vibe anymore. Because if you are, you're going to attract a similar thing in. Right? You attract what you exude, what you are, what you believe in. And if you believe it's always going to go wrong and no one is going to commit to you, and you feel insecure because of have low self-confidence, etc., because of what happened before, and that can be in childhood. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a love connection. If you say now, for instance, like, well, I've never had a relationship, I've never had a partner. Well, then maybe you need to look for this pattern, this stuff in the past, in childhood, but with siblings or at school with friends. And, right, this pattern of not feeling good enough, of being betrayed, maybe by friends. So then you have to adapt it slightly to your situation. But it is very important that if you want to have a great love connection, that you dare to open your heart again, that you dare to take that risk to open your heart again, right? Dare to take a risk to get hurt again. And it also means that you need to have the inner strength to say, no, I don't want this. I don't want to be treated this way. And if need be, also walk away. Be strong enough to walk away when someone doesn't treat you right or doesn't commit to you. And it looks like, and also feels to me like in the past, you didn't have that boundary. And that you then stayed in that situation, even though it wasn't healthy for you and the other person didn't return, didn't reciprocate, didn't give you what you gave them. And that's another reason why you got even more hurt, right? And upset. And so it's very important that you have healthy boundaries so that you do not put up with bullshit if there is any, you know. And the idea is to learn from all this stuff that has happened and to grow from it. And if you feel you haven't done that yet, then please take the time to see what actually went down and how you contributed to this. And because there's always that part as well, right? So you have to take responsibility for that. For instance, like, okay, if you look back at it, maybe you can indeed acknowledge, I did not have boundaries. And then that's what you contributed. That's why it could happen in your life, right? So look at that. And yeah, and because then if you learn from it, you can do it differently the next time around. Now we're going to go to your other cards. All right, I have a fourth card from this oracle deck, and it doesn't fit in. They're quite large, so I'll show it to you in a minute. We have co-create, peace, and between worlds. And co-create is, again, the message that I just told you, that you have to open your heart, but you also have to keep it open. And this also speaks of a healthy relationship. So this is what is coming to you, right? This is not about the past anymore. This is what is coming, what is possible. So it is really important to open that heart and to be able to keep it open, especially when something is happening, because then you can make better decisions. And usually when something bad happens, something negative happens, or something that scares us, the first thing that we do is just punk, we close the heart. We have to learn at least to try keep it open, because then you can better deal with it. Yeah. And so it also speaks of a good and healthy relationship. It's co-create, which is very important in a good relationship, right? And we see an egg. Oops, I'm so sorry about that. That's my pointer. The egg, and here we have an egg, and egg is new life, new beginnings, entirely new. And you co-create that together. You together make that egg, right? I also feel with this card that the other person, it might be different from what you expect. And that can be in any way, can be in the way they are, the way they behave, or what they do, but it can also be their looks. That's, yeah, I don't know. But they're different from what you may expect them to be. But he or she is the perfect complement for you. And as you can see, again, you create something beautiful together. And like it says in the message, it's something that neither of you can create on your own. You can only create that together. And that's the egg, the new beginnings, the new beautiful everything, right? And we see that with peace as well. Another egg and another message that you are going to be perfectly aligned and complement each other beautifully. So that comes back here, that message, as well as there, right? And between worlds is not negative. And I'm just saying that because I always tend to think like, no, I don't want that card. But it is really really beautiful because, as you can see here, you're stepping out of that old world into the beautiful, bright new one. And that's good. That's a good thing. It helps to just step out of the dark and the negativity of the past that we saw earlier on and into a new bright future. And it will give you the opportunity to explore this connection as well. That's also what this is about. To be yourself and to explore what you need in this new connection that's going to come in. And if you're in a connection already, then it's the same thing. Then it's important that you do that within that connection. Explore what you need and how you can be yourself, etc. And this is not yet speaking of it lasting forever. This is the earlier phase of getting to know each other, and it's a very delicate phase for you also to find out and learn about yourself and about the other person, right? And meaning it's very important to not rush. And certainly you don't want to skip this very important phase. Maybe you did that in the past. Maybe in the past you tended, or if you haven't had a relationship yet, that you've wanted to have the tendency to want to rush into a new connection. That's not good. The advice here is to not do that. Take your time and just to see how things work and are in this new connection. And how you are being treated in this new connection, how you feel with this new person, and if there are any red flags, and how it works out when something is up, right? Because that's also part of a healthy relationship. It doesn't always have to be wonderful. Stuff comes up, always. And in a healthy relationship, you must be able to communicate and deal with that together, so you get through it together, right? And that's what this card is about. It's about these budding, beginning new phases of getting to know each other, testing the waters a little bit, and and if you then conclude that okay, this was great at the beginning, but in the end actually it's not for me, then leave and not do this, right? Like at the beginning here, in the past, you also felt like, oh, my knight in shining armor, oh my God. Right? But it could be that after some time you decide, no, this is not for me. Then it's important to end it and leave. And then the last card from this deck we have, I'll just remove these, chop wood. And so this is saying that you will have to be active, not sit back and expect everything to just work out by itself. Don't allow things to just happen, right? Whatever it is that you didn't do in the past when things kept going awry is what you must learn to do now, right? Otherwise, if you do the same thing, you're going to get the same result. You don't want that. And an example of that could be that maybe now you have to learn to stand tall and shine your light and stand up for yourself, if there is a reason for that. Maybe you didn't do that in the past. It can also be that you have to learn to communicate, right? And not expect the other person to be a mind reader. Communicate. Tell the other person what you need. Tell the other person what you don't like, what is not working out for you. And you have to be active, proactive, and do stuff, and just not expect things to just work out. It also means you need to listen and pay attention to what's going on and to how you are being treated. So not just sitting back and, okay, I'm now in a relationship and this is it. And even when you're not being treated right, you have to speak up then, or maybe even leave. And for this, you have to dare to be vulnerable, so open the doors to your heart again, right? You cannot do this with your heart closed. You cannot build a healthy relationship with your heart closed. You cannot keep your heart closed until you feel safe to open it. And it's the other way around. You have to open your heart and dare to be vulnerable and dare to take the risk to get hurt again before you enter in a relationship. That's how you should, that's the right way to do it. And in order to that, you will have to come to terms with the past, because that was quite something, as we have seen. And that's also what the broom is about, right? You can clear the clutter, you can sweep the floor with that, and sweep away everything that doesn't serve you anymore. But then you will again have to be active and chop wood and do that. And let's see, moving to your next cards. Right, we have 2 cards: recognition, receptive. The divine will help you recognize signs and miracles. Receptive, be ready to receive what fate has planned for you. And both these require you to have your heart open yet again. Right? That's very important for you, because if you don't have your heart open, your intuition is not going to work. And you need your intuition in order to recognize the signs and the miracles, and in order to receive. So that again is very important. The heart has to be open. And then we have feelings and love. Take time out to explore the deep emotions you are experiencing. And again, we have a message the second time that you have to take your time. Not rush into anything, but to let it grow and unfold and develop, etc. And the same thing, your own feelings and fulfillment in the connection as well. That's also important that you observe that. You know, pay attention to that. It's important, so that you do not end up in a relationship for Lord knows how long, while actually in the beginning you could already tell that you are not getting fulfilled, you're not being treated the way you want to be treated, you should be treated, and so on and so forth. So pay attention to that, and course correct if need be. And that's especially important if you've indeed thought before that you met your knight in shining armor and got hurt, right? You just be aware of what's going on and how they're treating you. And love will overcome any obstacles and pain that you may still have lingering. But we have seen that you need to chop wood. So I do feel that message comes up again, to not sit back and expect the other to sort out your problems or to be a mind reader, right? You have to be proactive, and then it will work. Love is a two-way street, right? It's not like, okay, we're in a relationship and that's it, and now this is gonna last forever. No, it's an active thing. Love and a relationship is an active thing, and it can overcome everything. So in that sense, it can also be and mean that this new connection and this new partner helps you heal whatever still needs to be healed from the past, right? I'm sticking in your other cards. Right, now let's look at how you're going to feel in this connection, in this new relationship that is coming in. And or if you are in a relationship already, if you do the stuff that we went through just now, how you're gonna feel then in this connection, right? And we have the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Pentacles. So we have 3 queens. Wow, that is really great. And yeah, this is actually really a high value woman. And if you're a man, then it's the same thing in that sense when it comes to emotions and feelings. And then you are going to be gonna feel like a high value man, an empowered man. And yeah, and preferably you already feel close to this state of being, before you set foot, or when you set foot on the dating path, right? And because if you already feel this way and are this way, then it's indicative that you have overcome that past and that you are ready, and then you will more easily attract in a matching quality connection. But this is how you will feel joyful and happy and confident, loved, cherished, desired, and very well able to stand tall and shine and to feel worthy and to know you are worthy. And it like with this high value woman, and that's the same for an empowered masculine and a high value man, is someone who knows her worth and what she stands for, what she wants, and also going for that and not putting up with anything less, not settling for less anymore. And so that's really beautiful. And you've worked hard for that, because we have the Knight of Wands. And if you look at this image, I'll move it over a little bit, you can see that you have ventured where you have not ventured before. And that took a lot of guts. You know, like here, she went out at night in the woods by herself to find this rare gem, right? And well, think about that, in the middle of the night, going deep into the woods on your own in the dark, right? Now, well, it's not so for me, but it's a metaphor, of course, right? And so, by finding that gem, not getting distracted by foxes that show an interest. You aren't interested in these foxes anymore. You see straight through them, and you will know that they are not a match and that you are worthy of more. So again, they're no longer settling for crumbs and leftovers. You're going for what you want, and yeah, maybe even to the point that if you can't find that, then you rather stay single. And it also means that you aren't looking for the proverbial needle in the haystack any longer. It's different. It's a little different when you know what you want and what you're worth. And yes, who you want may be few and far between, but your inner compass is solid, and it will lead you to your true north. And all other pieces in the haystack, like this fox here, will just fall away. In short, it doesn't have to be a long process to find each other, provided you have reached that inner state of confidence that we see here, right? She knows what she's worth, she has self-esteem, and she can take care of herself, and so on. And yeah, well, just look at it. 3 queens, it's amazing. Oh, hang about, yeah. And the king, I'm going wrong here all over the place today. I've never had that before. That's because these names are different. This is actually the king of cups. But that doesn't really matter, because that's also great, because the king of cups is even one step further in a way than the queen, because the king has mastered everything that in the realm of feelings and emotions, and everything that's to do with that. Yeah, right. That comes with that, and that includes relationships. So, and he can go deep, and because this fish can go really, really deep. So you have depth, and yeah. So I'm sorry about that. That's confusing. Oh my God, I never had that before. This is the 3rd time in a reading, I think. I'm sorry, but it doesn't change the message whatsoever. It's still exactly that. It actually even makes it stronger, I think. I feel, because like I said, the king is the crowning of the crowning achievement of the realm of feelings and emotions, and no longer being controlled by ego fears and stuff. And you are in control. you know your worth. That's what she's about, and yeah, the Queen of Wands as well, actually. And you're shining brightly, and you're inspired. You are inspiring. You are warm, and wonderful, loving energy that you exude, and you're very attractive in that sense. Yeah. Anyhow, yeah, so that, and I'm now going to the other card. Right, we have the, these are the last cards actually from your reading. We have the Goddess cards, Easter, and which is really cool because we have Easter coming up now, right? And we have Lazy, or I'm not certain how to pronounce that, and Uzume, Huma. And again, like we had 2 eggs already, right, with co-create and peace, and here we see another egg message. Right, that's what Easter is about, and this goddess Easter also is new beginnings, new life, new creation, new everything. So that comes up 3 times, so it's an absolutely new thing, and which is logical if you overcome that past and step into your power, and yeah, then you get completely new possibilities, opportunities. Just it will be entirely different. And with her Lazy, I'm just gonna say lazy. Yeah, I'm not certain how to pronounce it. You're shedding the past and the old you. Yeah, and that's what I was trying to say here. The old you is how you used to be in a relationship, or how you used to feel about relationship or in relationships, and that it's not lasting, and that you're going to be cheated, or actually having that experience, and so on and so forth. That is the old you. You're going to let that go as well. You're going to shed that, and you're going to step into... Yeah, that in-between card that we had with the flamingo, going from the dark, from the night into the bright new future. That feeling, that thing. So the whole thing might be quite a transformation and a change for you. And change is often very difficult for people, as it means getting out of your comfort zone. And yeah, away from what you're used to. But it is truly good to have this shift, this transformation. Right, and it's another reason that you don't want to go too fast, because it's gonna be new. It's gonna be different. So you don't want to go that fast. You want to don't rush into something head over heels, and just take your time to explore. And that keeps coming up, so it's very important. And another advantage of taking time is that this transformation gives you the ability to see clearly. So to see all facets of what's involved. And that came up with the Knight of Wands card 2. And that was this card. And maybe I didn't say it with this card, but it does. It is part of that message. And yeah. So take your time, as opposed to rushing head over heels into something new. And Uzume confirms the importance again of taking the time by letting you know to enjoy it, to have fun, to be light-hearted, and to just don't rush. Also, don't try to force things. And sometimes we do that. For instance, we try to force knowing that we have a steady, committed relationship, or we try to force moving in together because then we feel safe, right? Don't do that. When you have inner strength and provide your own safety in life, you don't need to squeeze that out of a partner any longer. Be your own rock, and then you can enjoy life a lot more as well, because then you're not dependent on the other one giving you safety. And so in short, a beautiful connection with a lot of potential is coming for you, and how it pans out depends for the most part on you being able to open up and being able to let things grow and unfold without pushing and rushing and forcing things. So you have to be your own safety instead of seeking that in a connection, and to also be strong enough to walk away if need be. So that's your reading. I hope that it resonates and is helpful to you. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back again real soon. Bye bye. Rate numbers 2. Your first 3 cards, you are beginning to recover from something that was a loss or an ending, or something that you perceived to be that way. And with the regeneration card, but loss and endings aren't really that. They're just, we always feel that they are bad and sad and so on. And they are, but after loss there is love, and after death, and death is not necessarily literally, right? It's of course just an ending. There is life again. That's what this regeneration is about. So what's coming for you in love is that you are beginning to regenerate from whatever happened to you, and that you are beginning to radiate a regenerative life force energy, and that is going to make you irresistible to love in all forms, not just romantic love in all forms, but also that includes romantic love, right? And you will also begin to see evidence of that appearing in your life around you. And you will also feel that emergence, right? If you're changing on the inside from this, and going through that, and then having this new life grow again, regeneration, you're gonna feel that too on the inside. And the next card will take a nap, or time for a nap. It says that if you are single, then it's good to take time out for yourself to get to know yourself. And if you are with someone, with a partner, then it's a time to relax and to just be. And it's not a time for a lot of action and events and stuff. And also not a time to force anything. Just allow things to flow naturally. And then if you do that, a beautiful regeneration, a beautiful renewal will take place all by itself. So patience is the key to your heart's desire right now. Withdraw from action in your relationship and give it a rest so that your love and connection can become rejuvenated. And that was mostly that last part for people in a relationship, but I feel that is for everyone actually, because when you're going through this, that takes your time as well, right, to regenerate and focus on yourself. Because if you're coming up out of the rubble, so to speak, as we see here in a way, it's not really the time to be completely focused on the outside world and on potential partners and Lord knows what, because you're still quite busy unfolding and and growing leaves and unfolding, extending your branches and so on and so forth. And and with new life, new life, that will come soon enough. So that's what I said. This is actually the message for everyone, not just people in a relationship. You have to allow yourself time to do this, to go through this. So that comes up twice. And the more you give yourself the time and not rush, etc., the sooner you will get to the stage where you can start to wake up and stretch and get going again, right? So that's very important to know. And then we also have TikTok. And that says that there is no rush. There's always enough time for love, to find it, to nurture it, to give it, to receive it. And the clock of love is eternal, and it ticks according to the beating of your heart. So maybe if you feel like, yeah, but I have to get going because, oh my God, I'm getting older, or I'm running out, or whatever, you know, and don't do that. There's always enough time, regardless of what you think is like, yeah, but, right? First, it's important that you take the time for yourself to get that generation, completed, that process. Right, your next cards, where you come from, basically, what you've experienced when it comes to love. We have the Moon, the Page of Wands, the King of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords, and the Two of Swords. And I feel that you have been dreaming about a great love, of a fulfilling love, even if you are or have been in a relationship, but that you, the thing is dreaming and fantasizing of how you want it to be, and how, oh God, that would be lovely, and that is inactive. Right, then you're not doing anything. It's not taking steps to change things so that you get what you need. And it can even keep you from seeing what's right there in front of you. And that's with this Moon card, I feel. There is this gem in that shell. But if you're just dreaming and not really in the now, in the present, noticing what's going on, you're not going to see that gem either. So you might actually miss that. And there could also be a bit that you have a hint of, jealousy maybe, or sadness or envy, when you see other people in a loving relationship. And I feel that with this card, because there is this face in there. It looks, it seems to be a face. And these people are loving each other, and they're so happy together and passionate and all that stuff. And then you're there, you're looking at them, and you're not having it. You're just looking at it from the outside, and you're not in it. You're not part of it. You're not having it. And so and then with these three cards. And they all make me feel that letting someone in and opening up to love was a problem for you. And maybe it still is now, at this time, that you have a difficulty with that. Because in all these three cards, we see a basically good guy, and genders can be reversed if you're a man or whatever, right? So, but I'm just going from what we can see. In all these three cards, we see a basically good guy showing up. He is making a hell of an effort to impress that lady, and he did the same thing, and he is doing that too. But she's turned her back to him, and she is like, oh my God, I don't know, while he is showing up stark naked, except for the cape. But she's trying to cover herself and hide behind that column here, the pillar, and and she's also not having any of it, and so that's why I get that feeling, and you are rejecting these men in a way, and that makes me wonder, does it overwhelm you when a great guy shows up and is interested in you? And there can be many reasons for feeling that way. Maybe you don't feel worthy, or maybe you've been hurt before when you opened up, or maybe for some reason you're afraid to commit, which deep down can go hand in hand with a fear of abandonment. There can be many reasons, but whatever it is, work should be done on this so you can leave it behind and step into that regeneration and a new life, and with that a new love, right? Or renewed love if you're in a relationship. That's also possible. So your goddess cards, we have, this is not from the past anymore. That was just the other cards from that we just had in here. We have Shakti, Isis, rebirth and transformation. Again transformation, again rebirth. And we had the regeneration and new life. All the same thing. And Shakti and Isis both confirm that it is necessary to let go of old stories that you tell yourself or think about yourself, and old stories and limiting beliefs and so forth about love as well, and that you start to tell new stories, positive stories about yourself, about love, about how it should be, how it can be, and so on. You have to really let go of these old things. Otherwise you can't have your regeneration and new life. You can't have your transformation and rebirth. And it means, Shakti's message is also that you may have to open wounds that you now attempt to keep hidden. And opening them is important, otherwise they start to fester, right? It needs to be open so it can heal. And love yourself, all aspects of yourself. Embrace and love the parts of yourself that are hurt, are afraid. And also the parts that you think are not lovable, that you feel aren't beautiful. Learn to embrace them. That is a healing. And bear in mind that by suppressing these wounds, whatever is in there for you, that you sabotage yourself. And you will see a reflection of that then in your life, including in your love life. So it's very important to heal that, and it's time to do that now as well. And with Isis, the message of rebirth, the old stories again, right? Your insistence on defining yourself by your losses and wound stories are not serving you. Your alignment task is to fully accept things as they are, choose to find a way to put the pieces back together again, let die what doesn't serve you, and focus on what works. There is so much goodness to come from this situation, even in this moment if you feel trapped. So that's the same message again, right? That you, stop telling old stories. And if you think I'm not doing that, well, take a minute and just think how you tend to think about yourself, how you tend to think, believe, feel about love and relationships, and you in love and relationships, and what you can get and how it works out for you, and so on and so forth. Just, you might be surprised because it doesn't come up for nothing, right? Right, we're going to the next cards. Right, there's one more tarot card. It doesn't fit, so I'll put that in a minute. We have the Ace of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords, the World card, and the Ace of Swords. And then we have the Nine of Cups that I will put in a minute. So the Ace of Pentacles, new beginnings, returning to joy and having self-esteem, aligning with your own inner self, feeling far more stable, and radiating that outwards. So like regeneration card said, you will become more attractive because you start radiating that outwards. This was the regeneration card, right? And this, the Nine of Swords, again, this is about old beliefs and thoughts that you have to let go of, old stories that don't serve you. And also that you might have to open old wounds, with Shakti's message as well. Because here we see this person is trying to hide, like let's say this creepy tree that is walking around, right? These are the wounds. This is what's festering in there. This is what scares you, etc. And you're trying to hide. I'm not going to look at it. I'm going to suppress it. I'm not going to attend to whatever is needed, really, right? I don't want it. Well, you have to stop doing that. And you really have to look at it, deal with it, work on it so it can heal. And maybe this tree is not even going to hurt you if you get out here and out in the open and like, okay, well, what do you want to tell me, tree? Why are you here? You know, just listen. And then maybe the tree is already going to be happy that you're finally going to listen to whatever you suppress, right? And yeah, it's just that. I can't add anything much to that anymore. And if you don't do that, if you keep doing this, you cannot have your regeneration, your transformation and rebirth and so on. You have to deal with it. And then you can also have the world, a new cycle beginning. And like this deer that is here, he comes out of the woods. This is where he used to be, like you. And he's now going out into the open, venturing out. He's never been there. This is new territory to him. And for you, it's also going to be new territory, which comes with regeneration, rebirth, transformation, etc. So it might be a little bit scary, but it's going to serve you. It's going to serve you really well. And the good thing is also that when you get out in the open here, you can see much better. You can see much further. So you can see what is out there. With potential partners as well, right? You can see what's out there, who they are, what they stand for. When you're in the woods, in the forest, you can't really tell because he might be sort of half behind a bush or a tree trunk, and then you can't really feel into it, guesstimate like, no, that's not for me, or yes, that is for me, because you can't see everything. And it works the other way around as well. When you step out here, you are also going to be in full view, right? But that is a good thing. It can be a bit scary because it might make you feel vulnerable, but it's a good thing because if you are, like with this came up, radiating, standing tall and all that stuff, then you will attract the right partner to you. Because he can see you then out there. While if you stay in this forest, that great guy can't see you either. He might see a couple of antlers, but then he cannot base a decision of a love relationship on a couple of antlers, right? He also wants to see who you are, what you stand for, and how you shine and how beautiful you are. And the Ace of Swords that we have here is also about clarity and especially cutting away everything that doesn't serve you, which is also part of that regeneration, healing the wounds and so on and so forth. So it all ties together. And if you cut away what isn't clear, what doesn't serve you and whatever, it will become clear. The mist will lift. The veil will lift. It's like stepping out in the open, like with the World card. So it's really very beautiful. And it will help you spot the guys that aren't right for you, but also dishonesty, maybe, or maybe cutting straight through lies or whatever. But bad people, it's not always bad people, right? It's just people that are right for you, partners that are right for you, partners that are not right for you. Doesn't mean they're bad people, they're just not for you. In any case, you can then also, the Shakti and Isis was also about focus, getting focus, and you can't have that focus if you're hanging on to old stories and beliefs. And when you let go of that, when you cut that away, then you can focus, and then you can focus what you want and what you really deserve, and send that out into the cosmos, which is what this is about really. Dropping that coin into the well, and it goes up into the cosmos with all these sparkles. It's divinely supported, right? And then it can come to you. Then you're no longer just dreaming about having it and fantasizing about feeling fulfilled and having a great partner who, you know, and it works out and so on. No, you're actually doing it. You're manifesting it. And yeah, so that. And now we're quickly going to look at the love cards that I have for you. Embrace what destiny has in store for you. And in order for that, you need that regeneration, rebirth, and so on. Right? And a love bond grows stronger over time. And so you have to allow it time, but that's logical. Just enjoy it. And the yin-yang, like a yin-yang symbol, twin flames contain an aspect of each other's character within them. So maybe you're even going to get a twin flame connection. Or your current relationship is going to shift to a much higher vibration. It's complements, right? These are perfect complements of each other. And the last card for your reading is honor. Honor your loved one and you will notice your relationship becoming stronger. And that also requires your heart to be open. So you can, in actual fact, do that. You honor the other person and then the other person will easier do that too. You can relate to each other, communicate and so on and so forth. And then it will only get stronger and stronger. Like it says here, over time, a love bond grows stronger. So that's what I have for you. Good news. In short, it's a beautiful process of growth. And by ditching the old that doesn't serve you anymore, you can stand out and shine in who you really are, to be seen as that too. And instead of fantasizing about what you want, you can then focus on that and send it out in the cosmos, so your wishes can be granted. And then you're going from dreaming, like I said just now, you go from dreaming to actually manifesting it. So that's what I have for you. I hope you enjoyed it and that it's helpful. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.